G'day guys, my name's Dave from DT Unboxed, and in this video I'm going to be doing an unboxing and first impressions review of the new Apple Airpods Max. And I'm going to also be comparing them against the Sony XM4s, which are arguably the best pound for pound noise cancelling headphones in the market at the moment. I haven't tried either of these before, so this will be my real first impressions. Now, the Apple Airpods Max were just released and they're more than double the price of the Sony XM4s. So the question really is it worth more than double the price, or is it just the Apple tax that you're paying for? Is there a noticeable difference in the sound quality? I guess we'll find out in a second. All right, so let's take a look inside the box. There are the headphones. They're actually pretty heavy. They're heavier than I thought they would be. So let's just put them aside for a second. You got all the boring stuff there, and you get a USB-C to Lightning cable as well. And that's everything that's inside the box. So let's have a look at the AirPods themselves. Oh, very nice. Yeah, so as other reviewers have said, you know, these feel amazing. Very cold to the touch, but yeah, they look great. So this is the space gray color, obviously. So this is the leather case, and it feels really nice. It's quite a soft sort of leather. It's almost rubbery, I would say. Let's take these off. Now these ear cups are magnetic, so they actually snap in quite easily. I believe Apple also sells replacement ear cups as well, which is a pretty good idea, but probably another way for Apple to just milk more money from you. The headband feels great as well. It's got almost that rubbery plastic feel to it. Now this mesh is probably what I'm going to be most worried about. You know, when you pop these into the case, this thing is acting as the handle. If you put this in your bag and you got something sharp in your bag, I can just imagine this getting cut up and torn so easily. It's just a bit of mesh material. It's not even, yeah, I mean, it's elastic, so that's quite nice, but I can just imagine so many people accidentally ripping this somehow or tearing it on something sharp. So that's a bit of a risk, especially for something this expensive. So here's the digital crown. It's definitely a much bigger version than what you see on the Apple Watch. And this button, I believe, is the transparency mode. So it turns on and off the noise cancellation. I have no complaints about that, other than the fact that this mesh feels really, really delicate. Like, I am very worried about that. Now, the articulation on these are pretty great. So they don't just sort of sway anywhere. They're quite firm, so when you move something, it stays in place. This extension as well. So that's actually as far as it goes in terms of extending. Now, what do you reckon? Does that look like a handbag? Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's have a look at the XM4s. So, what's in the box? There's the case, some documentation, and that's pretty much it. Already, I think the case is 20 times better than the Apple one. It's just way more practical. This is actually a case that will protect your headphones, and I would be confident in putting that into my travel bag as opposed to the other ones. But anyway, let's open this up. So they fold up into a much more compact package than the AirPods Max. Now, the feel of these headphones is obviously a lot different. You got that really soft sort of plastic feel to it. It's a premium plastic feel. It almost feels like rubber in a way. It's kind of similar to the feel of the headband portion of the AirPods Max. And up the top of the headband and the ear cups, they kind of have that really soft luxury leather feel. Sort of like those really soft leather couches. So first impression, it's definitely a good build quality. It doesn't feel as expensive as the AirPods Max, of course, but they look like very good quality headphones thus far. And I do love the case. I wish Apple made a case that was similar. But anyway, let's see what else is inside. We got an AUX cable, which is very handy. If you want an AUX cable for the AirPods Max, that's gonna set you back. Thanks Apple for that. We got an adapter for airplanes, which is awesome as well. So I think Sony have done a better job of the accessories, 100%. And then we got a USB-A to USB-C type. So that's pretty much it. But I love how everything packs into this neat package. So I think in terms of portability and probably durability in terms of traveling, I reckon you'd be able to keep your Sonys in a much better condition with this type of case. Whereas if you're putting this into your bag, no doubt that's going to get ripped at some point. And the case is exposed as well. So that aluminium is, I don't know why they left a gap here, because that aluminium is going to get scratched. Up the top here as well, that's going to get scratched. That's going to get scratched. I'm just not sure they thought the durability aspect of it through enough. But I mean, there's a premium feel here, but the practical aspect isn't quite there. Okay, so moment of truth. I'm now going to listen to some music and see how they sound. I'm going to be using Tidal here to listen to a few tracks just because the quality of their audio is a lot better than Spotify or Apple Music. Can't hear myself talking almost at all. I'm going to try to turn it up to full volume. So I just had the headphones at full volume, super crisp, no distortion at all. And I absolutely love that. You know, the headphones I was using previously were good, but you know, when you really started to crank it up, there was, you know, the obvious distortion, but these are really, really crisp. So that's pretty awesome. At full volume, the listening experience is pristine. Let's give these XM4s a shot. See how we go. I gotta say, it's the difference is almost negligible. I mean, it might be just my mind thinking that because the AirPods Max are more expensive that they sound better. There's just that slight bit in my mind that might think that and might make me believe that they sound a little bit better. But honestly, I think if you gave this to 100 people, I reckon probably 95% would not be able to tell the difference. I think that might be like a 1 to 3% advantage of the AirPods in terms of sound quality over the XM4s. But again, I had to really try to hone in to find that difference. And even then, I'm not even sure if it's there or if it's just in my mind. So far, I think audio quality would almost say they're on par. For both headphones, I turned them up to full volume and no distortion at all. And not blasting your ears off either. Even though they're at full volume, still very comfortable to listen to, and it didn't really hurt my ears or anything. They're both very comfortable to wear. I think the AirPods Max maybe feel better on the head. They do have larger cups on them. And I really do like the felt material as opposed to the leather that might get a little bit, I guess, sticky and wet. I guess these ear cups might breathe a bit more due to being fabric. They are slightly better, these AirPods Max, but I mean, $500 Australian more, not so sure yet. I also just want to quickly test the microphone on these as well. So I'm just going to pop them on and just record some audio off my phone. This is a test recording straight off the microphone of my iPhone. This is a test of the Sony XM4 microphone on the headphones recording to my iPhone. This is a test of the microphone of the AirPods Max recording straight to my iPhone. Now I've tested the microphone, and as you could hear, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but in my opinion, I think the microphone on these sound pretty bad in comparison to just using the microphone straight from the iPhone. So again, I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong here, but I put on the headphones and then I was using the voice recorder app on the iPhone. And one would expect that it would be using the microphone on the headphones, which it did, but you know, the sound quality was not very good. The sound quality was better on the AirPods Max than it was on the Sony XM4s. So in terms of recording quality, not that great, but in terms of audio sound quality, playing back, amazing on both of them. In terms of battery life as well, the quick charge on the Sony XM4s is far superior. I think 5 minutes of charge time gets you, I think it says on the box here, 10 minutes of charge time, 5 hours of playback, which is amazing. Whereas, let's have a look at the Apple AirPods. Okay, so with the AirPods Max, a 5-minute charge gets you apparently 1.5 hours of listening time. That's in comparison to 10 minutes charge on the XM4s, which will get you 5 hours. So bit of a difference there. I think there's 20 hours playback on the AirPods Max, 30 hours on the Sonys. All right, so I'm gonna test some of the noise cancellation features by just putting some crowd noise in the background on my TV here and just sort of seeing how it performs in that regard. So I've got a bit of crowd noise in the background, so I'm just gonna see how the AirPods Max and the XM4s compare in terms of noise cancellation. Okay, so the initial noise cancellation seems to be pretty good. Quite similar to the XM4s. Yeah, similar in that regard. So noise cancelling, I'd say pretty similar. I'm not noticing any major difference. So I'm just testing the transparency feature, which is pretty cool. I mean, now I can hear myself talk, which is interesting. So with the noise cancelling on, obviously your voice is quite muffled, but when you turn transparency on, it's very strange. It sounds like the microphone's picking up your voice and it's playing it right back to you. So it's pretty strange, but yeah, it's pretty good, that transparency feature. All right, so I played around with the noise cancelling on both headphones, playing that crowd noise in the background, and honestly, both performed really well. Whilst listening to music and the crowd was in the background, you could, not hear it at all. When you turned off the noise cancelling, you could then hear it, and then you could hear your own voice. So it's quite trippy to sort of turn that feature on and off. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with these XM4s. I think they're amazing. I really like the AirPods Max. I feel like they feel better on the head. They're much more comfortable to wear, I think. But again, it's like, is it worth more than double the price? Maybe not. I don't think the sound quality or the noise cancellation is that much better that it warrants that much of an increase in price. I mean, I can see how the build quality is better, but look, if I'm being honest, if I'm looking for something that's probably a bit more long-term, I'd probably go with the XM4s just because the case that it comes with is so much nicer. I don't think you'd have to really worry about the aluminium wearing or scratching. I can just see myself carrying these around and always worrying about them. And I don't know if that's something I want to be worrying about. Whereas the Sonys, they feel like something, they're amazing quality headphones, but I feel like it's a product that I can throw around and not have to worry about so much. So yeah, there's my unboxing and first impressions of this Apple AirPods Max versus the Sony XM4s. I mean, I love what Apple has tried to do here, but I just think from a practical aspect, a lot of it fails. I think it's such a nice premium product and it feels so good on the head. The sound is great. The noise cancellation is amazing, but do I want to be worrying about scratching it and like tearing the mesh? Probably not. Whereas these Sony headphones, there's a rock solid case, and it feels like you can just throw them around and the sound quality is just as good. So for less than half the price, I'd be inclined on just sticking with the Sony XM4s. So there you have it, guys. If you have any questions, then please leave them below. Be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on DT Unboxed. Cheers.